My name is Robyn Myers, and I am from Henderson, Nevada. I currently live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. My area of expertise is in finance. I started my career in investment banking and spent 2 years at JP Morgan as an investment banking analyst on the mid-cap investment banking team. I then moved to growth equity investing and spent 2 years at Stride Consumer Partners based in Boston, doing mostly minority investing in consumer businesses across a few subsectors. I started at the University of Chicago, where I got my undergraduate degrees in economics and psychology. I minored in human rights. After that, I moved to New York City, where I did investment banking for 2 years in the mid-cap investment banking group at JP Morgan. And then I pursued a growth equity investing role at Stride Consumer Partners based in Boston. Now I am a first-year MBA student at Wharton at the University of Pennsylvania, where I am pursuing my MBA. When I look back at my time at JP Morgan, I think that was a really exceptional training ground for how financial modeling and the general finance world works. And as a professional at Micro One doing work in the AI space, I think having that really solid and foundational training is helpful to understand what it really is to be a best practice in the AI space. So, for example, it's very helpful to know what things should look like so that when you're training the models, you kind of know what the best is and what, I guess, the true ideal outcome would be. Before I entered the AI space, I would say my career I could separate it into work on the sell side and work on the buy side. So while I was at JP Morgan in more of a sell side role, I did a number of transactions in the M&A space. So I worked on various sell side proposals and opportunities for different businesses in the middle market space. That was kind of my focus. I also worked on a variety of equity and debt financing. So I got a little bit of exposure to different types of transactions in addition to just straightforward M&A. I did IPO prep and things of that nature as well. So really diverse experience at JP Morgan, and that's given me a really broad lens to help with Micro One tasks specifically because I have such a wide exposure. When I moved to the buy side, I worked really closely with minority investing, and so that was strictly equity transactions, and that gave me a different perspective in terms of how you think about valuing businesses from a private equity lens instead of from a investment banking or sell side lens. And so I think that the nuances there are very important when you're thinking about how to look at a company, whether it's from the buy side or the sell side. So when I started my MBA, I obviously am taking a break from the professional workforce, and I started at Wharton. When I started here, I was reached out to by a former colleague at JP Morgan who is working with Micro One as a full-time employee now. So when he reached out to me, I obviously trusted him as someone that I used to work very closely with, and he presented the opportunity for me to work with Micro One and work on a project that he was actually leading. And I thought that was a great opportunity to be at the forefront of kind of this emerging technology and the AI space, since there's obviously a huge transition right now going on with AI. Separately, because I am no longer doing finance, it's a great way for me to keep my skills fresh and to work with experts who are doing financial modeling and to keep myself sharp. That's a tough question. I think that there are a lot of firms that are a little bit hesitant to fully embrace AI, but I do think that there is a push for AI to be brought in to make different tasks a lot easier. I decided to join Micro One because for a few reasons, I guess. One of those is it's a really good opportunity for me to continue to invest in my own skill set and to use skills that I have built over the past few years and to keep them sharp and to continue building on them. The other reason is that as an opportunity, Micro One is exceptional for business school students. Since I don't have a full-time job or full-time income, having an opportunity to work a job that allows me to make my own schedule and earn an income is incredibly lucrative and something that I'm very grateful to have. it's really cool to see how diverse the skill set is. So I come from a consumer investing background and did a lot of my past work in, I would say, like grocery and beauty and different types of consumer modeling areas. That said, there are a ton of different models where people are looking at fund of funds or SaaS companies and different tasks that I don't have expertise in. So it's cool to see how different the skill set is and how there are experts who are really strong in one area that maybe I'm not. And that's kind of the appeal of Micro One, is that people have a whole range of skill sets, and that is used to train models to be the best for any type of possible situation. I think that the team at Micro One has been really helpful in both onboarding and the process. So every time I have a question, there's always someone who is able to answer that within 15 to 20 minutes. It's actually very impressive. So that is definitely something that encourages me to refer people to this organization specifically. I also think that coming from a business school like Wharton that has a pretty strong finance student body, there are a lot of people who have this expertise and are looking for ways to continue to build on it, and also for sources of income as they're going through a pretty expensive break from the workforce. I think this is a great opportunity for MBA students specifically because as an MBA student, your schedule is not predictable. I think that's the one thing I've consistently found week over week, is that I just have no idea what I'm going to be doing each day. And so having a opportunity to earn some sort of extra income that is truly molded to your schedule is a really rare and exceptional opportunity. And I think Micro One is the best way to do that. It really allows you to set your own schedule and to pick when you're able to work and what you want to work on. And so the flexibility is really nice as an MBA student. Having worked at large financial institutions, I have a pretty good understanding of what is important when you're looking at different data sets, whether that is comparable company analyses or valuation. I think I have a good understanding of what matters in those analyses. And so I use that to think about what would be most important to train AI models on and which types of tasks to prioritize. It might be a tough ask, but I think it would be great to have future models that are able to understand nuances of just financial projections. And so being able to read modeling like a story instead of reading it like numbers, I think would be a really great thing for models to be able to do. So whether that is in terms of projecting financial statements, I think it would be great if a model could understand what stage a company is at and if they were growing or stable, and whether that meant that they should be investing more in marketing or more in payroll or different types of line items. I think that it would be great if models were able to take the financials and build projections based on a potential storyline. I think it's changing in a few ways. One is that it allows you to reduce the amount of time that you're spending on pretty manual and not super critical thinking tasks. So like I just mentioned, comps and data aggregation, I think is something that takes a lot of time but doesn't really add a lot of value and isn't something that you can add a lot of value by doing. It doesn't necessarily matter if you do it in 30 minutes or do it in 2 hours. All that matters is that it's done correctly. And so if I were starting right now, I think that I would be really grateful to have a way to do a lot of these processes a lot simpler. The second thing is having AI as even a conceptual fact checker or sense checker would be great. I remember many times that I was working in banking and thinking, I don't know if I should include this in the enterprise value calculation. And I think having AI to ask, should this be included or not, is something that would be very helpful, not just in an enterprise value calculation, but across a range of different tasks. I think that it would be great to have as a resource instead of just having to ask your associate every time. If I was pitching this to a current business school colleague, I would probably tell them that it is a really lucrative opportunity to pay for your travel. If we're being candid, people at Wharton spend a lot of money traveling, and you can do a lot of AI model training while you're traveling. It's actually one of the things that I like to do best, is to think about how I'm able to afford some of the amazing things that I get to do because of opportunities like Micro One. I think right now is the time for people to get into AI model training at Micro One, because AI is really changing every industry, and understanding how training AI models works is very important, and something that is going to help you understand how the entire world is changing through AI and how current models have been trained and how they work. So being at the forefront of the AI revolution, I think, is really cool to be a part of. So that's why.